At an organizational level, obviously, it would be amazing and grandiose if anyone would be willing to do an honest human debt audit and look at all these topics that they've left unsolved. It's really important and magical it would be if people were able to check for psychological safety at the top. What this means is, I'm sure we've all seen this, right? There's boards, there's leadership teams that are, I should not use the word team because they aren't a team. They are a work group at best, and most likely just kind of a newsletter type environment where they come in, they talk at each other, they posture, it's an impression management festival, and then everyone goes home, and there's never a time when that team truly tries to hear each other. No one stands up, no one has the courage to say, blimey, we got to do something about our people. We cannot just continuously wait to see what happens if we mistreat them. And so no one speaks up, no one points out when that needs to happen. And that's not enough. And that's because there's not enough psychological safety at that top. And then really important bit for an organization, and this is something we can help the organization with, show the effects of the human work in actual results that they understand, right? So all these organizations have spent 50, 60 years believing that the only way that you can show performance is by looking at either proper like results, old school, or the newfangled KPIs and OKRs. And realistically, that's fine. And thankfully, the human work can immediately reflect in those. So as soon as you start doing some human work, those KPIs, OKRs, results are going to increase. But only if you make that connection visible do you get the gain of it. This is a controversial one, and I'm aware of that, but it's time we talked about it very honestly. We, DevOps, we Agile, we tech, have to coach HR to regain the role. The initial role was to help us make sure people are happy, right? Not hire them, not fire them in a safe way, but once we'll have them, that they are productive and happy and performant and all the good things, right? They've lost that, and they don't actually realistically know how to do that at this point. We are at a point in our kind of development in terms of learning how to do Agile, where DevOps knows a lot more about what makes people tick, how developers feel, what makes them reluctant, how they engage in the new processes, with the air quotes, de rigueur. But DevOps knows about people. HR knows less about people in an Agile environment, without a doubt. That's clear. That's not controversial. What is controversial is either DevOps and Agile find ways to coach HR and come together and give them the information they've acquired from running people in Agile teams, or they need to do away with the department. We cannot be talking about business partners that are HR and then equally never ever have them help us in terms of our team dynamics and people work. One of the big things that I think needs happening, and whether it's HR or tech, it doesn't really matter, but we have to make this big leap, like I said earlier, from command and control to servant leadership, because in the absence of that, we won't have a hybrid that works. We won't have empowered teams. If we don't have empowered teams, we will essentially not be able to do this work. Because what I'm proposing here, I don't know if we've noticed, is that we take this immense task of fixing the human debt, and then we distribute it to a team level and have those teams be able to show up and fix themselves, because waiting for the organization to do it is not going to work. And obviously remunerate and recognize the people work would be amazing. I'll leave you with a couple of things, and then maybe we can have a proper chat. As I said, treat it as tech debt if tech debt is important. Get this organizational permission, because it's imperative that you have some of it, at least to start. Make sure that there's some, or not make sure, figure out if there's any psychological safety or any team at the top at all. And if not, that's something to work on. Advocate for continuous improvement and this people work. It's a hard thing to advocate for. It's a really big job, but I just need everyone listening to this to do even more about it. I know everyone listening has been reading about it, trying, putting their own skin on the line any number of times, pushed when they would have rather shut up. put themselves into risky situations just to kind of advocate for the people who are. We have to keep doing that until it's become part of our day-to-day, and until such time that people are doing it essentially all the time. As I said, use servant leadership to empower and enable teams so that they can reduce human debt themselves. We're distributing the work of fixing teams and making this psychological safety key dynamic happen at the team level if we empower them and we help them do it. Consistently call out objections and BS. Anytime people tell you we're too busy, that's an excuse. Anytime people tell you there's just no time to do the paperwork, that's an excuse. Call it out every time. Find ways that you can keep people honest and able to tell you when that's just an objection, that's not the actual truth, and kind of dig deeper, because you're going to always find the reasons why people are afraid of that work, right? And eventually are going to be able to move past it. As I said many times, I keep talking about this. Everyone that's listening to this is a superhero. There's a lot of work that goes into this. There's a lot of fight that goes into this. I appreciate tremendously the amounts of, I've seen people brought to the brink of tears wanting to do better by their teams. And those superheroes are just inexplicably awesome, but they have it hard. So it's good to be reverent towards them. Again, obsessed with psychological safety, I would say that. Ensure it's measured and increased. Read the book if you wish. Find software, either ours, ideally ours, come talk to us about the demo, but if not, I'm sure that you can do it yourself, pen and paper. Just keep measuring, keep focused on the data, keep focused on your team, keep focused on their behaviors, and then eventually you're going to get to a place where it becomes much easier. Right, that was it.